Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on time. This is the sixth session, actually the seventh session, but the first session was just zeroth session. So here is the agenda for this session of A2 level. I don't think we'll be able to cover the fifth point, that is exercises for modal werden, the with verb werden and with adjective endings, but everything else we will cover. What I want you to remember, two things from today's topic, three things. First is, what is connective zwei? Even if you don't have to know what connective zwei is, all you have to know is that almost every verb has a different version, and that is called as connective zwei. And but you don't have to remember this connected zwei for every verb. For some verbs you have to remember. Okay, so you'll learn connected zwei of four verbs, and you'll see how you can use them. And it's very important, especially when you are connected SWI is important. I can give you an example. For example, yesterday I had a small argumentation with a cashier at a supermarket, and we both were kind of passive aggressively reacting, and we both were using connected SWI. I was like, "You could have done that." He's like, "You could have done that." So I was speaking like Sie hätten das machen können, and he was like, "Yeah, Sie hätten das auch machen können." So it was small, but you can also use it in many different ways. Then the second thing I want you to remember is that you know you are learning verbs, but it's always good when you learn the verb with the correct preposition. It is very important. Then we'll talk about the genitive case. So far we have discussed nominative, accusative, dative case. Genitive is the easiest one, and it's very easy to learn, very easy to use, and the rules are very easy to remember. There are not that many rules. So, and if we have some time, we'll learn some vocabulary. Having said that, feel free to ask questions at any point. Don't think you're interrupting me. I like getting interrupted. Okay, having said that, let's start. Disclaimer, obvious. So, uh, here you have anyone who wants to read, please raise your hand. Yeah, Rishabh, you can read.
Yeah, sure.
So, from right side, please start reading.
Okay.
Or
No English was.
maybe you can read the left and the right side as well, both. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who is it? Where is S? What is it? Was is S? How is it? We is S. Where is it? Wo is S. For whom is it? Für wen is S. Whose is it? Wessen is S.
Thank you very much. So if you notice, right, the first four questions, actually the first five questions, where, was, wie, wo, wen. Just a short tip. Uh, this word, right, it is ending with R or er. Any German word which ends with the word er, in exam, okay, I don't know if teachers really want you to pronounce them or not, but in real life, whenever a word is ending with with the sound of air, you don't emphasize it. So actually you will say it where. That's it. You will not say where. You can say where if you're learning, but when you talk, and actually when people talk in German, or people Germans, when they talk in German, they will not emphasize the R part. They'll just say where. Okay, if it's der, they'll just say there, not there. Okay, so there is a hint of R, but not the entire sound of R. Next one is was, vivo. Just for these four things, you know. The next one, for whom is it? You know, I told you for you have to use few, and after few whatever comes has to be in accusative, right? So whom is nothing but the accusative form of who, right? So where accusative becomes wen, right? Accusative always ends with n, if you know, right? There becomes den, ein becomes einen, right? Kein becomes keinen, mein becomes meinen. Accusative sound is n, right? This things you know already. The next one, whose is it, right? Whose, you're trying to, for example, hose is something like, let's say, let's say I'm sitting in a train, and then I see that next to me there is a wallet, right? Because I'm a good guy, I will just raise it. I'll pick it, raise it up, raise my hand. I'll say, whose is it? Whom does it belong, right? Whose is it? Like, so I have something. I don't know to whom does it belong, right? So I found something of someone. I don't know to whom does it belong, right? So something of someone, someone of someone, someone of something, relationship, right? So to ask this kind of question, you have to use Wesen. Now, just for the sake of teaching, I'll tell you that the question word, W word like Wesen exists, but I don't think people use it that often in real life, at least in the small cocoon of life that I have around. Like, I don't think people use Wesen that often. But you have to know it. If you're preparing for an exam, the teacher may, I don't know, they ask like such a kind of a question may come up. So Wesen, okay, Wesen. That's how you say it. And this is the genitive, okay? So this is a genitive form of where, okay? So where, vain is accusative. What, Rishabh, what is the dative form of where?
When,
Vain, right?
when.
M, right? Sorry. Yeah,
So
yeah.
when is actually to whom, right?
Sorry? You
I mean
mean,
the English form of that. To whom it is, that's when I can use the
uh,
when.
yes, you can say that, but you have to actually, I mean, so for the sake of understanding, I've written the English ones, but um, you can think like that, to whom, but it's very difficult to remember like for whom is accusative, to whom is dative. You can think like that. What you have to think is that which verb is being used, right? So, or after which, so for example, fuel is an accusative kind of preposition, right? That's why it is here. If I want to say, whom are you helping? You know, whom are you helping? Now you will say, okay, whom are you helping? How do I say whom are you helping, right? You can say like, to whom are you helping? But you have to think in German verb, helfen is a dative kind of verb, right? So the verb itself is dative. So either the verb will give you the hint or the preposition will give you a hint. In this sentence, the preposition is helping you understand that after feud, whatever comes is
And how do
accusative.
you say it accusative? I didn't understand that because accusative mainly for
Okay, let
example.
me come up with a new slide and then I can tell you. Uh, what is the exact question? Please repeat.
I did not understand how do you say when is an accusative, when is that you, and in a sentence. Yeah, my understanding accusative always talk with an object, and
No, it's
that
not.
you always talk with
So, okay,
to
I will,
whom,
I will,
right?
I
I
will tell
mean,
you in short what accusative dative will mean. Please mute yourself. I will request also you to like go through the zeroth recording or like, okay, I'll tell you. So, where your question is why is where like how do I know where is like, if your question is like when something is accusative, when something is dative, when something is something like when is a noun. I will not say object, right? Like when is a noun in nominative, accusative, dative, or genitive case. So I'll tell you the stupid but very stupid but really smart way to understand when something is nominative, accusative, dative, or genitive. So either you have a preposition, right? Either if the noun is after preposition, right? For example, let me just go one step back. So you normally a sentence has a subject, it has a verb, and it may or may not have an object. You know, subject is always nominative. Object one is nominative as long as there is no preposition behind it, and the verb in the sentence is either sein, heißen, or werden. Okay, uh, that is one way, right? So object is almost always nominative. Object is nominative as long as there is no preposition behind it, and the verb in the sentence is either sein, heißen, or werden. Uh, Now, when is object accusative, and when is object dative, and when is object genitive, right? So we'll see this. Object is genitive. We'll talk about this later. Let's talk about accusative and dative, right? So one just short information. By default, if you don't know, go with accusative. Okay, if your teacher is if you have to at that moment guess whether it is accusative or dative, uh, depending on let's say uh, based on the verb, based on the verb, right? So let's say in the sentence, the verb is neither resign, neither heißen, neither were, like it's some other verb, and you have to guess, like you have to guess like whether the object is accusative or dative. Go with accusative, because if you and I sit, let's say you and I meet in a cafe, and you, let's say you buy me coffee and cheesecake for 7 days, and I sit with you for every day for 2 hours, right? And I make a list. Let's say I start making a list of all the verbs that you need in your life that are accusative, and I also make a list of all the verbs that are dative that you need for your life. The number of dative verbs will not be more than 100. Actually, I will think it will not be more than 50 to 60 only. Accusative, the list will go on, depending on how good your communication skills are. We can go from anywhere between 2000 to, I don't know, 6,000 verbs. So the trick here is that, as I said, you by default you should go with accusative. Or if you want to be really correct, just learn all the dative verbs that are there that you need to speak, right? So whenever you see them, okay, the noun will be, the object will be dative. If that verb is not a part of this 50 to 60 verbs, then it is accusative. I don't know if I answered your question. This is not the
Yes.
typical way, but this is a street smart way to understand it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And helfen is a dative verb. So helfen is a dative verb. Can't think of anyone else, any other verb. Anyone? Rishabh, do you know any other that you remember? Begegnen is a dative verb. This is, yeah. But this is not the theoretical way. This is like, how do you say, street smart way to remember when something is dative or something like that. Let's come back to genitive. Okay, so this you now you understand some basic of what genitive is. Let's talk about, like what do you need to know about genitive case. Okay, so first question is,
Uh,
are there,
Sorry, the in the first slide, the
yeah,
question for whom is it? Sorry, whose is it? Can I reframe it like wem gehört es?
you can say it, wem gehört es. Yeah, then yeah, so because Rishabh is using the verb gehören is a dative verb.
Yeah.
You can say that, yeah, wem gehört es. Yeah. So what Rishabh just said is, he said, instead of saying wessen, he can just say wem gehört es. So gehört means to belong. For example, I can say das gehört mir. You notice, like, that belongs to me, right? So notice mir is dative. And why dative? Because it is being followed after the verb gehören. I hope that answers your question, right, Rishabh? I
Yeah.
hope
Thank
yes.
you.
Yeah, most welcome. Okay, let's continue. So let's talk about some things about genitive case which makes it easier. So because I want you to understand, like, when to use genitive and not to use genitive. So let's start with this, right? So are there verbs which require the object to be in genitive case? 100% yes. Okay. So, but the good news is, do you need to learn these verbs? No, unless and until you are going to think you are going to become an author someday, or uh, you read books in German, then you may notice that, okay, people have used verbs which are genitive. Or let's say you read, I mean, you will see them in professional format, for example, a newspaper, a magazine, a book, right? But in normal day life, I have never seen people use genitive case or verbs which require the object to be in genitive case, right? Then what are you supposed to learn with respect to genitive case? Three things. First of all, let's start with the third point. Okay, there are no verbs which require the object to be in native case in real life. We don't use them, but there are prepositions, right? So there are prepositions which require the object to be in, or whatever follows after the preposition to be in native case. And can you please read these? Jagdish, can you read these six, seven?
Um, which prepositions or genitive ones?
This one, yeah,
Wegen,
yeah.
yeah. Wegen, Aufgrund, trotz, statt, während, innerhalb, außerhalb.
So it's Varen, not Waren. So whenever you see this A umlaut, right? The trick to read this A umlaut is, in English we have air, right? You just say air without the sound of R. Air.
Yeah.
Okay, so Varen. Do you by any chance know the meanings, Jagdish, of these prepositions? You can
Uh,
guess.
Yes. Stat, trots.
So
No, I cannot remember.
let's see if you can guess them, right? Let's say you and I are very good friends, and of course, uh, and you are always late, or let's say I'm always late, right? And you always say, "Vegan di hindi fish." I think I have to go with someone else because there is some background noise.
Yeah, I think.
I apologize. Yeah, anyone else wants to guess the meanings?
Yeah.
Yeah,
May
Rishabh,
I
go
can
ahead.
try.
Yeah,
Uh, Vegan, I'm not sure, but maybe
let's
some cause or some reason.
let's look at the example, right? You and I are good friends, and whenever we go somewhere, like we all miss trains, because I say, I'm the one who is late, right? And you say, "Hey, Rohit, wegen dir haben wir immer Verspätung."
Yeah, yeah.
So vegan is
What reason are you
no,
delayed?
vegan is like because of you we have, yeah, okay,
Okay.
Abhiram, yeah,
Yeah.
It is just like I thought
Aufgrund.
of saying because that's it.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's it, yeah, because yeah. Next one,
Yeah.
off-road.
Aufgrund, by due to some reason, by some reason.
Yeah, if you have to
Grund
think
means I think
example. So auf, like because like auf the vegan often mean both the same thing, right? Vegan literally
yeah,
means because often like due to the fact. Grund is something like grund actually means the reason. Due to the reason, due to
yeah,
the
yeah.
fact, something like that. Trots.
Trotz means despite.
Yeah. Next one.
Start. On start means I think rather than here start means same I think
It's the
said
same thing. It's the
rather
same
than
thing.
yeah.
Instead, something like that.
Wherein means during.
During something, right? During the class, shut up. Während des Kurses, uh, bleib still or sag nichts. Yeah. Next one.
Inner hub, inner I don't
There are
inner
words in between.
In between, not in between. You can if you say in
inside
between, inside.
Inside.
Ja, außerhalb, outside. Right?
out.
Innerhalb dieser Wohnung darf man nicht rauchen. Außerhalb der Wohnung darf man auch nicht rauchen.
Yeah.
So these are some prepositions. Of course, there are more, but these are the ones that I think you should know. Okay. Now I said there are three things that you are supposed to do
No,
with respect. Your question.
just one question. I did not understand why. So there are no verbs which goes with the genitive case.
Okay,
Is that
there are
right?
verbs. There are verbs.
There
We
are
don't need
verbs.
them.
Okay.
There are verbs. We don't need them. It's as simple as that. You don't need to learn them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did not understand the complete use case of this genitive.
We'll talk
With an
about that. We
example.
are coming there. We are coming there. We are coming. I mean, we'll talk about that. So let's just, yeah, Biram, you have a question, please. Don't need to raise your hand. Just start talking.
Okay. Firstly, hi. I forgot to say hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Next, this vegan. I mean, as I said, I forgot, but I just wanted to ask you. For vegan is because, right? So
Yeah.
it depends upon complete context, I know, but we'll use while for because as well. So
Yeah.
when we use this and when we use that, it depends upon complete scenario
When
or
so formal answer, vegan is a preposition, while is a conjunction. When you use conjunctions, you have an entire sentence following it, right?
okay,
When you use vegan, of course, there is a sentence following it, but vegan, after immediately you will have a noun because of you, vegan dia,
okay,
you know. And does it answer the question?
can you just give me some example?
So, why are we late? Because of you, vegan dia. Can I smoke in? Can I smoke inside the? Can I smoke inside the? Can I jog inside the house? Darf ich innerhalb der Wohnung? Inside the house,
Hmm.
right? You're
Hmm.
you're using a preposition immediately. After that, you have a noun. So, if you go here, right, fewer is a preposition. Immediately after that, you will have a noun or like a W word.
Okay,
Like when you use a conjunction, right? Conjunction, after conjunction, you are supposed to have an entire sentence. After preposition, you are
okay,
not supposed to have an entire sentence. What I'm saying, if you use while, right? For
okay,
example, we are late because you came late. Wir sind verspätet, weil du spät gekommen bist. So when you use something like while, right, there is an entire sentence following it,
yes,
right? But a preposition need not in an entire sentence. You can write, but a preposition only does the task of enhancing the actual noun after it, right? It's something like
okay,
something like
okay,
because. I mean, okay, because we
Because
have
it's you, something like that. So not to say everything, maybe to use in a shortcut form or something like that. Maybe we use preposition.
preposition is simple. Like preposition on like only needs a noun after it. But if you use a conjunction, you, for example, if you say something like therefore in English, right? Therefore, you need an entire sentence following it. Right? You cannot just say therefore in
Yes,
just one word, one noun, right?
yes,
But you can say
yes.
for, and you can just say one noun, like for you, for me, after you, after
Okay,
me,
got
something
it.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, yeah,
And
Rishabh. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
what is, I mean, trots you have written. Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
Despite trots them is something different.
Trotzdem is a conjunction.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, trotzdem is a conjunction. If you say, uh, for example, I told you to come on time. Uh,
Hmm.
Nevertheless, you did not come on time. Ich habe dir gesagt, komm komm pünktlich. Trotzdem bist du
Trotzdem,
nicht gekommen.
yeah.
Right?
Because I've
There,
only in my
there
mind
is an
regarding
echo.
Trotzdem.
There is an echo. Maybe someone is to mute.
Mm,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
see
not
any.
Adhirav, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever is not speaking, please mute themselves. Yeah. Yeah, Biram, continue asking your questions.
Yeah, it's like I never use this trots. I
Even I never
every time
used.
it's like
Even
trots.
never used,
Yeah.
but as per books, it's important. What I
Okay.
normally use is während, innerhalb, außerhalb, aufgrund. That's it.
Yeah. Wherein
Wegen as well.
wherein is like yeah. Wherein is like maybe every day people will use maybe three, four, five times, six times, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So you have to think. You have to think. I'll talk about homework, but we'll talk about it. More questions, Abhinav?
No thanks.
Okay, Rishabh, you had a question, right? You had raised your hand.
Yeah. Like after, like if we use vegan, then the word followed it will be in genitive case, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like ich kann nicht in Kino gehen wegen meiner Arbeit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But that's
thank you.
yeah, you can say that wegen meiner Arbeit. So you already know how to use. Yeah, so yeah, that's correct. More questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking about like you. Of course, you don't need to.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
one question.
Karthikeyan. Yeah,
Inner hall means inside, correct?
inside, and then there should be some noun after it, like
Okay,
inside, blah blah.
okay,
Innerhalb
okay,
der Wohnung, außerhalb der Wohnung.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. And one more thing. Yeah, fine, fine. And trots means you told despite trots them, it's actually what is actually?
it's also the same thing, but when I mean, dot same after it's a conjunction, right? So after that, you need an entire sentence. You cannot just use a one noun.
Okay,
For
okay,
example, if you say nevertheless in English, you need an entire sentence after it, right?
okay,
Right? But if you say
okay,
instead, you can just add a noun, right? Instead of you, you know what I mean?
okay,
There is a difference.
okay,
If you the thing is, if you think more about it, you'll get more confused. Okay, what is it? But understand when preposition after preposition, you can if you want to write a sentence, but you just need a noun after preposition, right? Preposition only has the job of enhancing the noun following it. A conjunction just enhances the entire sentence after it. Makes sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, fine.
Okay. More
Yeah,
questions?
yeah. Thanks.
Okay, most welcome. Let's talk about, as I said, like, are there verbs relevant to genitive case? Yes. Do you need to learn them? No. Then what are you supposed to learn them? Three things. First is you need to know these prepositions. After them, whenever you have a noun, the noun will be in genitive case. Now, notice what I'm saying. When you use these prepositions, of course, there are more, the list can go on. But after these, when you use these prepositions, what comes after them with noun, that noun will be in genitive case. Okay. So these, for example, when you use few is an accusative noun. When you use nak is a dative noun, right? These prepositions are called as not now. These are called nak is a few and nak are prepositions. Okay. So these are genitive prepositions. Now you understand whenever something is in a case, when something is nominative to accusative to dative, the article changes, right? There is nominative, then is accusative. We'll talk about this, right? So the article changes, right? So that is the first thing you should know. How do articles change in a native case? The next thing is, we learned adjective endings, right? I told you how to remember adjective endings. I told you get adjective endings for definite, indefinite, negations, and so on. Also which case, right? So how do adjective endings changing in native case? So you need to know three things. First of all, which prepositions are genitive ones? then how do articles change in genitive case, and how do adjective endings change in genitive case. But it's very easy to remember, these articles and these adjective endings rules. uh, I think someone asked, right, what is the purpose of genitive case? Remember this sentence: something of something. Okay, one more thing way to remember is, like genitive is, like, of course there are prepositions, right? But whenever you want to say something of something, for example, the color of the car, the size of the file. If you want to say the size of the file, size is grosser, the grosser, file is datae. But how do you say of, right? How do you say of in German? When you're expressing relationship like something of something, that of here, so the after this part of something will be in genitive case. We'll look at example, then it becomes more clear. This is in the genitive case. Whenever you want to say something of something, this part will be in genitive case. uh, Let me just
Mostly
give.
it is it is used for belongingness.
Yeah,
I
you can say
understand.
that belongingness. Yeah, you can say that
Yeah.
belongingness. So let me give an example where belong. I can't think of the. I think I don't remember the spelling of belongingness. Yeah. So let's say if you want to say I cannot find the key. Ich kann. Schlüssel is. I can't think of whether it is there or the. It's uh, mm, let's say I cannot find. Let's say I'm a woman. Okay, I cannot find
There.
der
That's good.
Schlüssel. Okay, ich kann der Schlüssel nicht finden, right? I cannot find the key. But if you want to say I cannot find the key of the car, then you will have to say, like, the key of the car, right? If it's there, then it becomes there, becomes then, because accusative. But if you want to say the key of the car, right? Of car, of course, auto. And this thing, now whatever article, like auto is das auto, right? But it will not remain thus, because now das auto, I mean, if you just say das auto, it doesn't mean anything, right? But if you want to say of, right, the key of car, so this part will be in genitive case, and thus will not be thus, it will change because it is now in genitive case. If it's confusing you, let's look at some examples and it becomes more clear. So before we let's look at the examples, then we can come back to the rules. Yes, Rishabh, can you read all the bold parts?
Yeah, sure. Das Buch des Lehrers. Das Auto meines Freundes. Die Farbe des Himmels. Die Hauptstadt Frankreich. Die Handtasche der Frau.
Thank you. So if you notice the second part, there are two nouns, right? Das Buch, Buch, Lehrers, Auto, Freund, Farbe, Himmel, Hauptstadt, Frankreich, Handtasche. Ignore this one for now. Okay, just remember the first three. Das Buch des Lehrers, right? Something like, so you're saying the book of the teacher, right? So the teacher here, whatever is after of, will be in genitive case, right? And you see how it changes, right? Lehrer is their lehrer, but here we are writing des Lehrers, right? And here, for example, the car of my friend, uh, after of whatever you have, belongingness, right? So my friend will be in genitive case, right? So my friend is normally mein Freund, but here it is minus Freundes, right? There is a change. Here, the color of the sky. Again, these examples are stupid. You can think of better examples, but let's go with them. Of the sky, right? Of something, right? The sky. Sky is, das Himmel, right? But here it becomes des Himmels. Let's look at the last one, the Handtasche der Frau, the wife's purse. You can, literally, actually, like, you don't have to say the book of the teacher. You can say that, right, the teacher's book, right? It's still like, this, like, of someone, right? The friend's car, my friend's car, or the sky's color, or the color of the sky. I can say the purse of my wife, right? So the purse is the Handtasche. Of my wife is, like, of my wife will be, wife is the Frau, like, Frau is, wife is the Frau, but because it is genitive case, it will become their Frau. This is what you will learn right now. Okay, we'll ignore this example, uh, the Hauptstadt Frankreich. We'll come back to it later. Let's go back to the rules. How do you remember this? So how do you remember it? How did, like, this minus this, there, how do these rules change? So let's talk about the rules now. So uh, we'll do a very quick revision. We'll talk about those rules. We'll also do a very quick revision of the. So we have to learn the articles in genitive case. We have to learn the adjective endings in genitive case. Adjective endings are the easiest one. Articles is something you have to. So articles a little bit difficult, but adjective is very easy. But both of them are very easy as you compare with them with other cases. So these are the list of pronouns, articles. Yeah, Rishabh, can you read very quickly, like this column, this column, this column?
Sure. Ich mich mir, du dich dir, wir uns, er sie es, ihm er ihm, ihr euch, sie ihnen.
Yeah, let's continue. So here you see, like, this table is for definite articles. Nominative, accusative, dative, you already know, right? Rishabh, only focus on the genitive part, please.
Sure. Das there.
Right, so if you notice, masculine, neutrum, they both are this. Feminine,
Yeah.
plural, they both are there. So this, there is what you have to remember. Now, if you know, right, so you're noticing that masculine is ending. If you notice, right, let's look at the dative case first. Them, their, then, right? And this table is, what I'm saying is that the endings follow the same rule. For example, if a masculine noun in accusative case, uh, if there is a definite article, it is then ein, also here it will be einen. What I'm saying is, look at the ending, n, right? Masculine accusative n, masculine accusative n, masculine dative m, masculine dative m. So you can use that same logic. So here it is this, there. Here as well, eines, einer. You know what I'm saying? So masculine neutrum s, feminine is einer. Plural for indefinite does not exist, right? We don't have like indefinite, like we cannot we don't have indefinite articles in plural case. Let's talk about negations article. Rishabh, please read the last row.
Keiner.
Okay, so keiner, as I said, right? Masculine neutrum s, feminine plural er. Okay, let's talk about this, possessive article, right? So of course you will have a one table for mine, one for thine, one for unser, one for sein, and other for, like, so we'll have like different tables. But logic you have understood, right? So masculine will be masculine neutrum des, feminine plural will be er. So here, Rishabh, please read the last row.
Minor.
Right, so ss er for. So for unser, what do you think, Rishabh, we will have over here?
Unser.
Right, unserer, you did the mistake, unserer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Unserer. Yeah.
yeah, unserer. Yeah, for thine, what do you think we will have over here?
Deiner.
Yeah, very good. For sein, what we'll have over here?
Seiner.
Very good. So I think you understand the logic, right?
Yeah.
uh Here, understood.
Yeah.
uh Understood. Abhiram, please tell me what will I have over here. This is a difficult one. This pronunciation is the same, but you have to be careful with this. Abhiram, you still there?
Yes.
Please tell me, what do I
Yes.
have over here in this row for Oya?
Mm,
Why are you thinking so much? S R R.
no, no, because I'm noting down something. So to be frank, I did not listen what he's saying because I know this so-called
Okay, so here,
kind,
okay, let me
It
etc.
is,
understand.
it
So
is, it is,
no,
it is Eurer
the,
or
Yeah, it's Euler. Yeah, so it's
Eurer, right? Virus, yeah.
do I need to say in the same way, right? Ein in the
no,
same
no,
way, right?
it's okay, Abraham. Maybe some other exercise. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, you just had to set Euler, but you have to remember is that here, right? So you have Euler in masculine nominative case, right? Euler is a, you have to be careful here. I have, like, left not highlighted this e, right, or a if in Germany if you want to speak. The reason is that that's how it is, right? If you oyer in accusative becomes euren, you don't write this e. This e is not there, so you only have e-u-r-e-n or a-u-r-a-n. Similarly, a-u-r-a-s. I'm saying with oyer, be careful. Don't write a-u-a-r-a-s. The next this a is not there. Anyone has any questions about what I'm trying to say with this one? Like, leave this one out. It's not there in the spelling. I'm saying you are used to, right? So I said kind, you just add s, and that's it, right? So you would have said, okay, oyer, I will add, I will write oyer and I will write s. I'm saying also don't write this a, is what I'm trying to say. Exam, be careful, but pronunciation, no one cares. Like, I mean, you will, even if you like oers, it sounds the same. Okay. Any questions? Okay, now you understand the articles, right? So you understand all the articles, masculine in genitive case, right? So this, there. Or remember the sound of s for masculine neutrum and the sound of air for feminine plural, right? Uh, this is a simple table. I don't know how clear this is, but it's just telling you all the articles, right? Like bestimmte article, des, feminine plural, there. Unbestimmte article, eines, masculine neutrum, feminine plural it is. I mean, here it is einer, plural does not exist. Negationsartikel, keines for masculine neutrum, feminine plural it is keiner, right? Minus, minor, deines. I mean, it's obvious, right? I don't know if you can read this tip or not, but I'm just saying is that for masculine neutrum, add the sound of s or es, and for feminine plural, add the sound of air. Okay, so these are the articles in genitive case. One more thing, if you go back, right? Let me go back to the example.
Uh, Here one question.
Yeah, Karthikeyan.
So here earlier we see something minus, minor, something like that, correct? But
Yeah.
here minus, minor is
Yeah,
there.
because I have changed, right? So before it was like in this table, it was masculine, feminine, neutrum, plural. I'm
Okay.
just
You
writing
change.
like masculine, neutrum, feminine, plural. It's just easier to remember.
Okay, fine.
Remember this, Karthikeyan. Masculine, neutrum, S, feminine, plural, air. That's it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. If you notice this example, right? So now you understand, right, why it is this, because there letter, so there becomes this. Mine becomes minus, there become this, right? And the becomes there, right? You notice, right? So feminine, there. Himal is, I hope it's uh, neutral. So this letter is like masculine. So this, right? If I was writing letter in, like, feminine, then it would have there, like, if, and like, also you notice I add the sound of s, right, to the noun as well. If you
I
notice,
was about to ask, yeah,
yeah, you know
nobody's.
this one, right? The sound of s, right? But if you notice, I did not add the sound of s over here, right? So I added the sound of s everywhere. But if you are smart enough, or like if you are observant, you'll notice that I have only added the sound of s for masculine and neutrum ones. For example, Frau is feminine. I did not add. Notice. So now
Yeah,
you understand the logic where it is whenever it is masculine or neutrum, to the noun as well, you have to add the sound of s. Okay, and here I am adding the sound of just the alphabet s. Here I am writing eas. Now you will say, okay, when to add s, when to add as. There are rules. I don't remember the rules. I can look up them online, but what I'm trying to, like, if you're preparing for an exam, just learn the rules. But in real life, you have to use your gut feeling. Or, for example, lereres. If I write instead of, if I write like this, it is just too difficult to say lereres, right? So we just say letters. Now here, if I only write the sound of s, Freunds, it's not difficult to say, but it just sounds odd. So we say Freundes. Okay. If I here instead of s, I say as, Himmels is just odd to say. So we just say Himmels. So what I'm trying to say is that uh, one more rule you have to remember. Let me just write it down over here. Masculine and neutrum ending of noun, either S or es. Okay, so you also have, apart from the changing the article, you also have to make the noun end with s or es. Okay, plural or feminine not needed. Questions about this? Okay, if there are no more questions, I just want to come back to this slide. I told you that ignore this one, right? The Hauptstadt Frankreiches. Uh, Now you, Frankreich. Uh,
Sorry,
yeah,
one question. So in that you told masculine and neutra means ending with ending of noun yes or yes. So the feminine and
plural not needed. And keep the noun as it is.
okay, there won't be yes and yes
No,
won't
no
come.
change. No change.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
fine, thanks.
So, I told you, if I go back to my slide over here, I told you, remember this, something of something, right? I told you, genitive use when you are describing something of something, right? But you may also have situations like, uh, uh, someone of someone, or something, again, something of someone, right? Instead of saying someone of someone, I can just say someone's someone, right? I can just say this thing. Or I can say something of someone, I can just say someone's something. So what I'm trying to say is that, you can just, whenever you can use genitive here as well, but it's easier to say someone, right? If I want to say, like, I don't know, uh, let's, if I say want to use, let's say my name Rohit, right? If I want to say Rohit's laptop, in English I will say Rohit apostrophe s, and I will say laptop. In German, all you have to do is just say this, remove the apostrophe. Okay, Rohit's laptop, right? Okay, this is someone. Let's say if I say yeah, not a good example, Rohit's friend. Okay, yeah, and here I can say Rohit's laptop. This is also genitive, right? And where does this come from? So if where does this come from? You are writing someone of someone, right? So you are writing someone of someone. So let's say, the friend of Rohit. So I will not use friend because then it means boyfriend. I'll say their colleague. Okay, colleague, you will say their colleague Rohit, so Rohit is a noun, like, it's a masculine noun, at least it's because it's my name. So this, and you will write this Rohit's, right? The colleague this Rohit's. uh, Teachers or German speakers have decided that whenever here it is a, like, name of a person or a name of a city, you don't need this article. Teachers have decided when there is a, like, a name of a person, name of a city in genitive case, the article you don't need to write that. Okay, and then it becomes their colleague Rohit's, and you can just write it like this, Rohit's their colleague, and now there also is not needed. I'm saying, or you can remember it like this, whenever you can say someone or someone something, just take that person's name, right, and write s without the apostrophe, and write whatever the belonging thing is, right? Friend or laptop. Does this make sense? Just think like English, right? Someone's, like, someone something, just write. Yeah, questions. Okay, if no more questions, that's why we have this, where did the slide go? Here you write the Hauptstadt Frankreich. Frankreich is the name of a city. To be honest, like, to be more practical, you don't need to write this, the Hauptstadt Frankreich. You can just write like this, Frankreich Hauptstadt. That's it. Okay, any questions, please ask. Otherwise, we still have one more thing to cover. Since I told you, right, there are three things you need to remember when it comes to adjective endings. Right. So first of all, these prepositions, not adjective endings, the genitive prepositions, genitive case. So these prepositions you should know. Then you should know how the articles change, right? We also have to know how do the adjectives change, right? Now, why do adjectives change? For example, if I go back to my example, uh, here, right? So I'm saying this book des Lehrers, right? If I want to say the book of the teacher, if I want to say the book of the tall teacher, or the car of my best friend, the color of the night sky, or not night sky, dull sky, the capital of uh, the nice vibes burst. I'm using adjectives, right? If you notice, I'm using adjectives, and I'm using adjectives with the nouns. They find themselves in genitive case, right? So of course, adjective endings you have to know. What do I mean by this? If I want to say this book, there's letters. Tall is gross. Okay, you cannot just write goes. You will have to write grossen. Okay, okay, yeah, because adjective ending, it will have an ending depending on which case is it. Let us very quickly learn the adjective endings because we have only 50 minutes. After this, we'll have to start the next call. So, what I'm saying is that adjective ending rules are there for genitive case, right? So far you have learned the rules for uh, this is we did this before as well. We'll do it one more time very quickly. Rishabh, let's see if you remember all the rules. So we have adjective endings, right? So
Yeah.
you have the table. So please tell me the adjective endings over here. Like, this table is for definite articles, this is for indefinite, this is when you not do not use an article, and this is for negations and possessive article. Please tell me what will I have over here? Masculine accusative, adjective ending.
Uh, Masculine accusative en. En.
Here,
Um, Unbestimmt. En. Same.
it's everywhere in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's everywhere in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these cases: plural, dative, or genitive. What do you think we'll have over
En.
here?
All en.
Right? That's it. That's all you have to know. So,
Yeah.
genitive is always n. That's all you have to know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. But only here, okay, without articles, you will have to remember. Okay,
Yeah.
it's feminine, it's always a. I'll do this. Feminine is always a. Masculine nominative, you have to remember it is a for bestimmte article, and for every other case, it is er.
Er.
Okay, neutrum, it is a for bestimmte article, and for every other article, it is s. Let's
S.
talk about without articles. So here you have to remember this one, right? It is adjective ending without. Okay, very summing it up. Adjective ending for genitive case. Okay, adjective ending for genitive case. Try to use in exam to avoid doing mistakes. Use article, because when you use article, the adjective ending is always going to be n. Okay, genitive is adjective ending is always n. Okay, I think this is a mistake. This should not be read. We have n over everywhere, but if you for some reason if you want to try your leg, and if you want to use don't use an article in genitive case, then you have to remember that adjective ending is also n for masculine neutrum. Only for feminine it will be air. Okay, so you can still, if you go with n, you will be right most of the time, unless and until it's feminine or plural, then it will be air. Okay, so the adjective will end with the sound of air if you don't use an article. So genitive is pretty easy to remember, guys. It's not that difficult. Okay, with that, I think we have covered the genitive case. If you have any questions, please ask about genitive case. It's all you have to remember is this part, what I said, right? Whenever you are, whenever in your sentence you have something like this, something of something, then you use genitive case. Okay, someone of someone, something of someone, you can just write like this, right? With you can just, in English you will write someone, 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 something, but in German you can just remove this s part, and that's how you write. But whenever you have something of something, as someone pointed out, belongingness between two non-living things, or like not a person, not a state, or something like that, then you have to remember the genitive ending rules. But it's not that difficult, right? I think it's quite clear. Articles, masculine neutrum end with air. Feminine masculine neutrum end with the sound of s. Feminine plural end with the sound of air. When it comes to adjective endings, it's n everywhere as long you use an article. If you decide not to use an article, then for again it's n, but only for feminine and plural it is air. Okay. Also, mm, also the noun, right? Noun will end with s, masculine neutrum nouns. If you don't have any questions, we will I'll post the link for the next session. I mean, like, please join using that one. We'll have still have some topics to cover from today's agenda. We'll see whatever we can cover. If no more questions,